Hey everyone, David Ryshpan with you once again for another tutorial on YouTube. Today we are going to check out the single most important exercise I use to improve and change my time feel. This exercise is courtesy of the great New Orleans drummer Stanton Moore. We're going to look at his original exercise and how I adapted it to the piano. If you enjoy the content on this channel, please click like and subscribe, including the little bell in the corner. That lets me notify you every time I'm posting new content every week. And if you're feeling especially generous, there is a Patreon page linked below where you can get exclusive content and PDFs of all the exercises I've posted. So we're going to look at Stanton Moore's original exercise as it pertains to drums. I'm doing this on a drum pad with my Vic Firth Stanton Moore sticks, because why not? If you don't have drumsticks or a drum pad, you can just do this with your hands on your lap. I will link to Stanton's video where he explains this on the drum set. This is from his book, Taking It to the Streets. There's also lots of video content of him explaining this idea of playing in the cracks, which is eighth notes or 16th notes that are not entirely straight and not entirely swung. The idea is to gradually morph from even 16ths all the way to flams, with an emphasis on living in the cracks, this magical place of New Orleans music and a lot of different kinds of music, which is not entirely straight and not entirely swung. And all it is hand-to-hand 16th notes, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, all the time. And if you lead with your right hand, you'll realize it's your left hand that does all the switching. So here we go, 80 beats per minute, Stanton Moore's pendulum of swing. 1, 2, 3, 4. How did I apply Stanton's exercise to the piano or away from the drums? I took his steady pendulum of swing and I divided it into 4 subdivisions that I would run my scales in. Even 16ths, in the cracks, swing, and dotted 8th, 16th were kind of overly swung. And I would run my major scales and minor scales up and down in those subdivisions. It would look something like this. We're going to do it at 74 and 88 BPM. so what that exercise allowed me to do was to hear the different time feels of different genres, different styles, different players. Now when I play in a band situation, I'm listening to the drummer's hi-hat or the drummer's ride cymbal, wherever that drummer is subdividing the time, and I am trying to lock with that drummer's rhythmic personality. I have my own when I play solo, or how I interpret things stylistically, of course, but once you put me with a drummer or a percussionist or in a certain idiom that has a particular rhythmic feel, Stanton's exercise and running my scales that way open my ears to hear that rhythmic language. And even within a single genre, a genre as big as jazz, if you think of certain soloists who play straighter versus more swung, kind of a Dexter Gordon versus a Coleman Hawkins, or a Dexter Gordon versus Lester Young, you can start to hear where the eighth notes fall, where the subdivisions are a little bit different, whether they're ahead of the beat, behind the beat, more even, more swung. When you get into Brazilian music, every Brazilian drummer, every Brazilian drum group has a different way of how they feel the time, how they feel the subdivisions, how they feel the swing. Every reggae drummer has a different way of feeling swing. This exercise really allowed me to hear more obviously the differences in those rhythmic subdivisions.